Hello, noble people. My name is Noble, and this is going to be a Transformers Reactivate video. I do want to have a little bit of a disclaimer. This video might be a little bit more heavy with some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about. I don't want to talk about this stuff, but I kind of can't just turn a blind eye to what is going on since I've been in the Transformers community and Transformers Reactivate community, as I have made videos in the past about this game, so I feel like I'm kind of obligated to talk about it a little bit. If you are here to see if there's any news on the game, unfortunately, we really don't have any actual official news. There was some bug with their Instagram account that they actually talked about, but that's like the only announcement Splash Damage has even said anything about, so they haven't mentioned the game. If you want to get actual like updates that will actually talk about the game, I recommend you go check out TFR News on Twitter. They are much of a reliable source, and you can get updates, leaks, everything from them, so I recommend you go and check them out. This video is going to be covering over other topics and my personal relationship with Transformers Activate, and where I kind of want to go in the future for talking about this game on the channel. So for starters, I want to get the quote-unquote drama out of the way. It's not really drama necessarily, as it is a bunch of toddlers fighting. And I mean this with all sincerity. Anyone who picks a fight on Twitter and are actually moronic, see themselves as a savior of a game that doesn't come out yet, fighting over leaks that can't be copyright claimed, they all need to grow up and leave this community. And I say that wholeheartedly. I unfortunately fell into a hole of kind of trusting people who do leaks and talk about the game just at face value and not digging deeper. If you are following anyone who does anything with leaks, check their Instagram, check their Twitter, see how they interact with people like off video, because so many of these people have like said slurs, have like more dark pasts, are like not even Transformers fans, are just doing this for clout. There's so many of them that just suck, and I will be one to say that it really hurts me to see that a community that doesn't even exist yet is already this toxic. We have people doxing each other, people calling each other slurs, and like saying their like PDF files. Like, it's so blown out of proportion, and everyone is just in the wrong. No one who is calling these accusations is in the right. There's no basis for any of these. Like, it's just makes me feel so angry that a community for a game that doesn't even exist yet is this full of toxicity. And I've even interacted, unfortunately, with some of these people in them. I've been subscribed to a bunch of leakers in the past so I could get information. And unfortunately, it turns out that this is really not where you want to be in, because if they're going to be arguing, going to be like this nasty in general, it's just a spreading toxicity in a game that isn't even out yet. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it really doesn't sit right with me that a game that isn't out has a community and has people trying to push their own personal agenda to try and get money or milk the game. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I just wanted to have that little disclaimer. This is going to be obviously a very short portion of the video because the main portion is what I want to talk about, the actual game. Now, regarding the actual game, the game obviously doesn't exist. Any leaks that have been shown in the couple years that this game has been announced have all been from a 2020 build of the game by Certain Affinity. If you don't know, this game has actually been in the works for a while now. It started in development in 2017 and has gone through a couple developers. Now, I'm not sure what all of the developers were. We know the developer currently is Splash Damage, and we know the previous developer was Certain Affinity. And the Splash Damage are currently using a build of Certain Affinity to develop into what they want the current game to be. All leaks regarding story and even some gameplay have all been pretty much by Certain Affinity. Now, the whole idea behind what Splash Damage is doing is they're upgrading everything into Unreal Engine 5, which obviously that can take a while. But the problem is that they're not being transparent with the community, and that lack of communication is what is hurting people. Not having communication in a game where it's a live service game where they're going to probably do updates potentially, it doesn't stick well with a lot of the audience. Like, we've been sitting on this game since 2022, ever since they done the trailer. They promised that we would get updates in 2024, and we haven't got anything. It's almost the end of 2024 as of recording this. It is the 16th of December, and we've gotten nothing. And that's really bad for a game that is potentially going to release soon. Now, I say potentially as we obviously don't know when the game is going to release. However, we have a strong idea of when the game is going to release by simply two ideas. Now, the more weaker choice is that we have a roadmap that was leaked a little while ago. And I know I said I wasn't going to talk about leaks, but this leak is pretty much confirmed. Everything in this leak is a 5-year roadmap that has multiple Transformers IPs and what they're going to do with them. The thing that makes people think this is actually official is because everything that has happened in 2024 has happened in this roadmap. We have gotten the Minecraft crossover, we've gotten Transformers Earthspark, Transformers 1 obviously, even some of the mobile games that aren't necessarily in the US have been leaked and are like proven to be correct via this roadmap. Which is why people think that Transformers Reactivate will be in 2025. As it shows in this roadmap, it is set to release in 2025. It also does show that a AAA console game is going to be released. It's not stated if Transformers Reactivate is the AAA console game. A lot of people think that this might be them hinting at them re-releasing War, Fall for Cybertron, maybe even Devastation, which I'm going to be honest, that would be pretty cool if they did do that. I actually was able to play the games recently and I had a lot of fun with them. But it's still not like 100% true. You always have to take stuff with a grain of salt, trusting like this, like it's some kind of like a Bible verse or something like that, like it's going to be true simply because it says that, isn't really correct. Obviously, stuff can change. This is a 5-year roadmap. Things are subject to change. They're not set in stone. But since everything else in 2024 has proven to be correct, this means we could possibly see some marketing for Transformers Reactivate in the sometime later this year, so maybe like right before January or during January to hopefully get to see it possibly early to maybe mid 2025. The other main reason is because of the money that Splash Damage has poured into the game. This game is suspected to be possibly hundreds of millions of dollars, which is stupid, but okay. This means that while, yes, it did take a lot of money, and we have seen other games like this get axed, like Concord, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, where they don't do that well and they just get axed or just fall off, but it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint for Splash Damage or Hasbro to simply not publish it. If they publish it, then it could possibly be a huge success, or at least they can make some money back if it is a flop. And the worst case scenario is that they just axe it like PlayStation did Concord. Obviously, people don't want that to happen, me included, but it's something that might just happen. So it's all a bunch of mights and maybes. This doesn't mean the game is canceled. A lot of people think the game is canceled, and rightfully so. I do think that if you're not going to talk about a game for 2 to 3 plus years when you said you would be interact with the community is really stupid. If we don't get any information in the next year, like for like a couple months in the next year, I will just completely forget about this game. I'll be totally honest. And this is kind of what makes me mad, because this is what my standpoint is on the game right now, is that I can't really afford to care anymore. Now, I do know that sounds bad, but it's not like malicious or anything. If Splash Damage and Hasbro aren't gonna give us reasons to care, then I'm simply not going to care. And not only are they not giving us reasons to care, I'm gonna be honest, anyone who does leaks and who has been being hostile towards the community makes me want to never interact with anyone in a Transformers game ever again, which is where I'm coming back to the more heavy stuff. This community that doesn't even exist yet is so toxic and is a cesspool of degenerate incel idiots. And I don't want to be around them. I know that might be harsh because there are some people who are nice. When I was playing through and streaming Transformers Fall of Cybertron, I had so many amazing and nice people come to me and talk to me in the chat, and it was really fun to interact with a community that cares for the game. But every time I go into comments on a Twitter, Instagram, even on YouTube sometime, it's always toxicity, them fighting, possible slurs happening, people like calling each other horrible, horrible things. And it's just to the point where if I see anyone who I know has interacted with them, I'm like getting hostile, and I don't want to get hostile. It like it's hard to say this in words, which is why this part of the video isn't scripted. I just despise anyone who is doing this for clout, is doing this to just try and milk the game that doesn't exist. It just infuriates me that this is the kind of situation we've been put in. And I'm not gonna blame Splash Damage because obviously these malicious people would have always been there, even if the game came out sooner or if we got updates. These malicious people are always going to be there. But they're not helping. If they were to post something tangible, maybe people would able to get along something. It's just driving me kind of crazy, and I don't want to be involved in a community where this is allowed to spread. And I really, really don't like it. So I'm not going to be a part of the community. Now, does that mean that I hate Transformers? No, of course not. I'm always going to love Transformers. I still play with toys, like I buy action figures, I play the games, I've watched the movies, I've rewatched Transformers 1 like 15 separate times. I love everything. But as of right now, Reactivate is not going to be on this channel anymore, or I'm not even going to talk about it. Anyone who is associated with it, I'm going to completely ignore them. I don't want to be involved with this. Now, that being said, if we do get stuff official, I probably will interact with it. Whether I will make a video with it, that is completely dependent on if what we get is substantial. Like, if we get a trailer, I'll probably do a breakdown video. But if we get a little bit of announcement that says, oh, hey, yeah, we're still developing the game or whatnot, it's not canceled, I'm not going to look at that. I'll be like, okay, cool, show us news and stuff. Like, I'll acknowledge it, but I'm not going to try and milk it or make videos. So I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. Stay noble. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.